Hi everyone, welcome to Emirates Golf Club. Today I'm going to give you a quick putting tip on how to improve how the wrists work in the putting stroke. If you can complete this drill successfully, your wrists and your arms are going to be working together as one and in sync. That's going to be key for starting the ball online and holding more putts. Let's get into the video. So during the putting stroke, you want the arms and the wrists to really work together, just like so. You can see here, when I'm making my strokes, you can see how my arms and wrists are moving as one, okay? I'm not flexing my arms on the way back or the way through, and I'm not flexing my wrists on the way back and the way through. I see a lot of putting strokes that are, say, a little bit flimsy, where there's too much flexion or extension of the arm or the wrist on the way back, and then the same on the way through. And we really want to try and avoid that. We want to try and keep everything connected in and working as one. You can see when I do that, the triangle from my shoulders down to my hands work as one, and everything feels really stable and really compact. And also there's far less moving parts. You can see when I'm keeping everything working as one, there's far less room for error because everything's working as one. If there was more moving parts and more variables for in the putting stroke, then that's just going to mean that there's going to be more margin for error, as if we're flexing or extending our wrists or our arms too much. And that's going to make it hard to come back to that setup position. And all we're trying to do in the putting stroke is we're trying to come back into our setup position at impact. And that's going to ensure that we're going to start the ball online. There's no other way around it. If we deliver the club differently as to what we were at setup, that's going to mean that's going to turn that part into more of a push or a pull. So as you can see here, if I'm going to have a stroke that's more wristy, or if I'm going to have a putting stroke where I flex my arm on the way back or on the way through, that's not going to be as stable as if I have a stroke that's very one piece and very in sync, just like so. So a drill that I'd really like you to try, just to try and improve this, all you need is a tee. And I want you to pop the tee in the end of the putter, just like so. And just ensure that that tee always points towards the same point on your chest for the whole stroke. You can see there, if I'm doing that, that's going to ensure that my arms and my wrists are working as one. If I have too much flexion or extension, you can see how the end of the tee wants to work more to the lead side of my chest or to the trail side of my chest. And again, if we can keep that tee pointing towards that same point, that's just going to ensure that that putter and our body is working in sync nicely and everything's nice and compact. So the really cool and effective thing about this drill is, again, all you need is a tee, and all it takes is for you to pop it in to the end of the putter. Every putter has some little hole at the top of the grip, like all golf grips, and that just makes it far easier just to pop that tee in. As having that tee in the end of the putter just gives us a clearer representation of where the top of the putter is pointing, instead of, you can see there, if we take it out, we might not be focusing on the end of the putter. But by just having that tee in there, that just allows us to have a far better visual representation of where the end of the putter and the shaft angle of the putter is pointing. Now, like I said, we want to keep it always around that point. If we do, you can see how stable that putting stroke now looks, instead of wrists or arms. So like I said, if we can set that position there with the tee pointing to the center of the chest, and then keep it working around and to the center of the chest for the whole swing, that's going to ensure that when we come back into that impact position, the putter's going to be delivered into the same spot as what it was at setup. That's then going to ensure that we're going to come down straight into the middle of the ball and then roll a nice solid putt. So that's going to mean if I can come back into this position at setup but at impact, that's going to mean that I'm going to be striking the ball right out the center of the club face, because that's where I set myself up at the setup position. If I can focus on keeping that pointing towards the chest, I'm going to then come back and strike the ball perfectly. Strike's obviously probably one of the most important things also, apart from putter face, when it comes to starting the ball online. Having a consistent strike and always striking out the middle is also going to help you when it comes with your distance control, you're going to have consistent roll. So just a quick tip there, give that drill a go. There's no excuses. All you need is a tee, a putter and a ball. You can do this indoors as well as outdoors. Just practice it. Just focus on all the things we spoke about there, and you should find that you have a much more stable putting stroke as a result. Just a nice, quick and easy, simple drill that you can always go back to as well if you find that your putting starts to slip a little bit. So thank you for watching. If you can like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it, and I'll see you next week.